And that, Sam, is why you are a massive paedophile.
I don't think I can leave that in the video, but I'm going to anyway. And hello, ladies and gentlemen, people of the world. This is Sam Elliott 64, and I'm joined alongside
Anderson 9132, baby. Oh yeah, we're back together.
We are back together like Katie Price and Peter Andre. They're not actually together, are they? I don't know. I don't really care.
I don't even know they're back together. I don't care about them, to be honest.
Anyway, we are here because as of right now, as I'm recording this, in a week's time, just under a week's time, in fact, Robot Wars 2016 begins on TV, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
I am moist.
I'm honestly so excited to see it return. Obviously, as we mentioned in the previous video we did with Mastrath, I went to go see it. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm not going to post any pictures of my experience there just yet. I'll wait till after the series is finished, because obviously some of my pictures have got some spoilers in them. I won't lie. Some of them do, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So, obviously, previously, it was a very early, in the development of the TV show, when we were previewing it last time. This time we've got a lot more information, and we've got a lot to look forward to. So, Anderson, where should we kick things off with? What should we kick things off with?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, I too am highly excited. My childhood show is back. I've been watching it slightly longer than you, I think, haven't I? Only like a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks longer than I am, yeah.
Yeah, so of course, obviously having it back is very, very exciting, and I am absolutely thrilled. I look forward to seeing the new evolution of Robot Wars. But where we should set off, I think we should set off really with the first thing that is first, and that is the new house robots. Obviously, the pictures were released. The official pictures have finally been released the new house robots.
I'll tell you what.
And let's be honest, they look hench. All
of them have been the gym. Okay? I mean, the fact...
they are voided up. What the hell happened?
I mean, the fact that, I know a lot of my friends who watched Robot Wars years ago and kind of died off it, and then obviously I've said, oh, hello, it's back, and they're like, oh my god, that's really cool. They've all said that they don't really like Kill a Lot. I don't know why. Kill a Lot, I think it's the mask. It's the mask that people are bothered by.
Yeah, I will admit the new Kill a Lot looks a bit silly, but at the same time, you can't really.
It's apparently.
I mean,
got after you.
At the end of the day, the whole point is
it's a new show.
Evolution. It's got to evolve. Yeah, I will admit he does look a bit anorexic.
That's the thing. It's more streamlined. I like the new track. I think the new tracks look cool. I think they look really cool.
Yes.
I will say that I was reading. I can't remember where I was reading this. Someone mentioned it in one of the comments somewhere of a video. I can't remember. But supposedly, the filming started on the 4th, 5th, and 6th of March, I believe, if I remember correctly. And Kill a Lot was finished the night of the 3rd of March. It wasn't ready for the pilot show that they did the week before. They finished it the night before they started filming. And
it's a bit like the first Kill a Lot, because the first Kill a Lot actually was built as it was loaded into the lorry for the debut episode.
Yeah, it was
Series 2.
It was crazy.
It was still being built on the way to the studio.
We were when we went to the filming. They tried to get Kill a Lot out. It was for one of the battles in one of the first round battles in Heat 2, and they couldn't quite. It wasn't ready. It broke down. So they sent. I think it was Dead Metal in instead. But by the way, Dead Metal, holy shit, makes me wet.
Dead Metal looks fucking ridiculously hench now. I'm sorry. It is scarily hench.
I was never a fan. I liked Dead Metal before, obviously, but I was a bigger fan of Matilda years ago. But my god, Dead Metal, you beautiful bastard.
I know, it's just so much bigger and more metal and more hardcore now. Like I said, all the house robots have been put on board. They're all a lot heavier now as well, and a lot bigger, because obviously in the actual original show, a lot of them weren't much heavier than they compared to robots anyway.
I believe actually, obviously Shunt in later series was only 5 kilos above the weight limit. Obviously it's going to get banged on.
Yeah, it would have been lower than the fucking weight limit now. So obviously all the house robots had to be upgraded.
They had to go to
and now I think they're over 200 kilos each now, aren't they?
They're over 300 each, I think.
They're over 300 each. Oh,
obviously,
so
Kill a Lot's
and I will admit,
750.
Yeah, we saw a picture sorry, not picture, sorry, in one of the trailers you see like Storm or something like that next to Shunt, and it's like Shunt
Shunt's
just towers over it.
But whereas Shunt
Back
before
then-
was tiny. Shunt was tiny before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
It's
yeah,
like your-
the House Robots, they are back. I mean, obviously no Sergeant Bash. Bit of a shame, but it's kind of difficult to see where they'd go with improving Sergeant Bash. Maybe like in,
Yes.
in BattleBots, the flamethrowers over there, maybe go with that kind of style, but it would be difficult to put it on a turret. It wouldn't quite work.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully we can see Sergeant Bash return in a new guise maybe later on, but sadly,
Maybe.
no, not this series. But I'm not too bothered by that. We've got
I'm a bit bothered by that, by the lack of RefBot. I liked the idea of having the robot count them down. It just felt like a bit, because obviously when the original show was out, the first 4 series, the problem was when the robot was immobilized, like
the House Robots just randomly
randomly
started attacking, wouldn't they? It's just
so it didn't really have a full-on clerical point as to when they would officially been deemed as immobile. So I would like to have seen RefBot come back. Sam, Matilda is your favourite house robot, as you said.
Yep.
What do you think of the new Matilda?
I think she's still really nice, and I like the fact that the problem I had with the old Matilda, where the tusks were largely useless, the flywheel did everything.
Yes.
Particularly in the later series. Obviously, in series 1 to 4, the chainsaw was largely useless, and the tusks did most of the work. But even then, they were just kind of a bit meh. Whereas now, like the whole head flips up, they get a lot more surface to lift up, and get a lot more weight behind it. I think that really helps
They were to lifting devices to what Brawl Chaos was to Family Robot Wars.
Basically. But I'm not gonna.
Sorry, Brawl Chaos if you're watching.
Again, I'm not going to spoil any results here. I'm not that guy. But I will say that Matilda has certainly got a lot of power, as you'll see in one of the heats. She does have enough power. She does have enough power to lift a robot out of the arena. So that's all I'm going to say.
With her tusks?
With her tusks. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say when it is. But she does have the ability to lift a robot out of the arena.
I will admit also the red LED glowing eyes just look so much better.
I think that I'm a little bit disappointed that Kilowatts didn't get his finished in time, but again, they'll probably add that for next series because it was a rush. It was a big rush to get 4 300 kilo / 750 kilo machines done in about a month. It was a big rush to get done.
Do we think they're going to redo Growler, Bash, Mr. Psycho, Cassius, Chrome, or do we think the next new house show will be a completely new thing that nobody's ever seen before? I kind of hope it is.
I think Bash could come. I'm not going to put my hopes on it because I would like to see Sergeant Bash again for continuity and then scrap the other 3. And no disrespect to Growler and Mr. Psycho, they were good for what they were. It's time to see something new. Cassius Chrome I couldn't give a flying fuck about, to be honest, but I'm more than happy to see.
I'll be honest, I'm actually quite happy because my 4 least favourite house robots were left out of it.
Oh, well,
I'm not a fan of Growler, not a fan of Mr. Psycho. I like Bash, but it was the weakest of the original. First time.
Yeah, it was.
So.
And RefBot was just there. But again, we'd like to see RefBot back purely for an embodiment of the rules, as I think we mentioned before.
Yes, exactly. But I would like to see them bring something completely new to the table, a brand new house.
Yes, definitely.
I think that would get more ratings in for them as well. I mean, that would make sense not just for us, but also as a business standpoint.
Yeah, it doesn't always help to just look to the past. I mean, bringing Robot Wars back itself is a big throwback, but there's old competitors and there's new competitors in that, as we'll get to shortly. But first, I think we must discuss the rules and how the layout's going to work for the new series.
Yes. Now, I wasn't overly keen on this when I first heard it, but I've sort of warmed to it now a bit, haven't I?
I think it makes it a bit fairer because obviously in series gone by, one particular case in point that really strikes me as frustrating was Heat P Series 6 and in fact not Heat P Series. What was the last Heat L, was it?
Heat L Series 6.
And Heat K. But those 2 heats really bother me in round 2 because the strongest 2 robots in both heats went against each other in round 2. So
we had
Bulldog Breed
versus Bigger Brother.
Yeah, and Bulldog Breed versus Hypnodisc. That really bothered me.
I'll tell you what else really bothered me, right? And it's, everybody out there, right? Okay, I mean, another thing that bothered me about the original series as well was that a really good robot would go out due to unfair circumstances. Like, for example, Evil Weevil Series 4.
Yeah,
they were going to win that heat. Let's be honest. That heat
they had that heat sold, didn't they? Really?
Yeah, and then because of a dead battery lost in the first round. Obviously, the gauntlet and the trials were completely pointless in the main competition because they weren't fair. That's a rant for a different day, though.
Yep. Anyway,
Um,
back to the so we have the back to the series 6 and 7 four-way melees in round 1, which I'm very happy about. That's a good decision. Well done, Mentorn. Great choice because I think the four-way
I would have liked
battles.
to see them slowly eke it in. I would have rather they started off with the three-way melee just to slowly eke it in. That way they could have had more.
But then they'd have to have either more heats or less competitors, and I think neither would have been really good. Because if they're more heats, then they'd have to get more competitors, and that means the quality might not have been as high. But again, that's another argument for another day. I think the three-way melees are in the final, aren't they? So they are still there and present in the series.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Excuse me.
And obviously, in the second round, after this, there's two winners from each of those four-way melees, and then the four robots go through. They go into a round-robin tournament where basically everybody fights everybody in different matches.
This makes things so much fairer. I'm so happy they've done this because it gives everyone a fair crack. You know, there might be a robot suited to another robot which isn't suited to someone else. So, for example, let's take Razor, for example. Okay, back in just as an example. Okay, just an example. They might suit a tornado, for example, but they won't suit a hypnodisc. You know, so that means, you know, it gives a win against one, but not against another. It gives a lot of diversity, and that way it keeps the competition fresh. In my opinion, and as well as that, we see more battles. Who doesn't want that? Yeah,
see more battles per heat, and also to give it a fair shine as well. It also means that, again, like I said, a robot that's supposed to win and looks like it could do really well can't then just all of a sudden die on its ass.
Like Bing 2. Bing 2 in Series 4. Great robot, just died.
Yeah, Bing 2 in Series 4. Yeah, oh god, that was daft. That was so unfunny. Yeah. And, cough, Mortis and Razor in the first.
Yeah, exactly. They would have probably won the heat of each one if it had these new rules, but however they didn't, and therefore they lost. Anyway. Yeah. And then the two highest placing robots in each round robin tournament, obviously 3 points for a win, 2 points if a win via the judges, and no points for a loss for either. I think it would have been a bit cooler to have 1 point for a loss via the judges, but at the same time, it's just like, I can understand why not. But anyway, that's
I'll tell you what I'm not happy with, though.
Go on.
The sixth place in the final is decided by a judge's wild card, which I don't think is fair at all.
I understand.
I think you should have a battle. I think the five robots that were the second best performers of the heat, like who got the second best amount of points,
the five heat. No,
could have had a battle.
Yeah, the five heat, because obviously the two winners from each round robin go into a heat final, don't they?
Oh yeah, into a heat final. Yeah.
So obviously the five heat finalists go against each other. But I think you have to think as well, though. It's time constraints, because where are they going to put that extra battle in? You know, where would they put it? That's what I say.
I mean, I understand that on the live circuit, but when you have a television show which is guaranteed to make money, you make that time. You know what I mean?
I suppose.
I mean, let's put it this way. They were back in the day. Again, they were able to have 16 heats, 2 semi-finals, and a grand final. I'm sure they could have gotten a bit of extra time for one extra. But I never understood the time constraints. I understand it for like a live show because they're paying to rent out the property and all that. But a TV with unlimited funds.
Well, no,
a TV show. The BBC, no less.
Well, the BBC,
one of the biggest production companies in the world.
I know, but it's one of those things. I mean,
3 minutes.
It's still
an extra 3 minutes.
It's still fair because at the end of the day, the judges are going to be tallying each battle as they go along the series. So at the end, it will still be the best of the bunch that goes through, in theory.
I suppose. Hopefully, if they do this round robin thing again and they have an uneven number of heats, hopefully they'll have more time to have a battle.
Yeah, I hope.
Again, who won the battle? Also, the 3-minute fucking match thing. I'm not too sure if I like it or I don't like it, to be honest.
I mean, I don't mind it because obviously the previous one was 5 minutes, wasn't it? Or was it 4.5 or something like that?
5.
It was 5 minutes. Okay, so previously it was 5 minutes, and obviously that got cut down a lot in post, and is now,
yeah.
However, now it strikes to me that if having 3-minute fights, which not all of them will be, because obviously there'll be immobilizations, which we'll get to that in a second. If they're 3-minute fights, then surely that stands to reason that you could fit every single one in the heat, full.
Yeah, without having to edit it. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I like the idea. But again, at the same time, like I just think you could do so much more in 5 minutes and get so much more done in 5 minutes. Also, another thing I really, really don't like, and you probably, hang on, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that was it. Right, yeah, is the 10-second immobilization rule.
Yeah, that was a bit strange. That was a bit...
That's unfair. I'm sorry, I think that's completely unfair. 30 seconds, there's plenty of time for you to
Yeah,
just
no, I do
example,
agree with that.
Right? For example, Bigger Brother versus Terahertz.
It got stuck, didn't it?
Series 6.
Yeah, it got stuck for
Bigger
10 seconds.
Brother died.
Yep.
For I think it was a good 11, 12, maybe even 13 seconds, and then started moving again.
True.
So,
I think with like a ref bot again, that would have been better in the future. You know, that'd have been a lot cooler. But again, time constraints and everything else. I don't know, but I understand why they're doing it. Just to like, if they're dead, the thing is these days though, with Robot Wars, and particularly like on the live circuit, you know how things have evolved. When things die, they tend to stay dead. You know,
yes.
they're a lot less intermittent than they were 10, 15 years ago. Nowadays,
they used to be a lot more iffy, didn't they? Now they're not so much.
Yeah, so in terms of reliability, they're a lot better. So generally, if they're dead, they are going to stay dead. So I can understand that. But yeah. In terms of the rules, obviously, 5 heats of 8, 1 of each going through to the grand final, and of course, as Anderson mentioned, the wild card chosen by the judges. Then it would be 3-way battles until in the final. 4 go through, round robin again, top 2 go playoff in the final, and then you have your Robot Wars 2016 winner, who could be anyone. But who is in the series? So in terms of competitors for Robot Wars 2016, obviously there's a huge blend of, you know, experience from the old series, and there are some new competitors there as well. So
as well as some new robots by old team members.
Indeed, yes, we'll get to those when we get to those. But obviously, we'll start off with week 1 and in alphabetical order, each heat in alphabetical order. Not the draws, but we'll get. I'm not going to discuss the draws because they've not been revealed. I know them, but they've not been revealed, so don't ask me about the draws.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the first heat we have first of all Behemoth. Now, obviously, everyone knows Behemoth, and I think these days. It's such a good-looking robot. It really is.
I know. Now that they've improved the fucking Streamex so it actually works, you know, it's actually pretty damn decent. But that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, obviously Anderson will know my hatred of Behemoth in the actual series because it was so fucking slow. Again, we're not experts at building robots. Don't criticize us for this. You know, we are just passionate fans. Don't, you know, we're not
who know what we like watching in the arena.
For
Sam's
me,
just not a fan of slow robots.
Behemoth just bored me when it first started. Obviously in Series 6 and 7 it was a much different story. It was much more entertaining. And obviously now it's you know, it's 14 miles an hour now. It's crazy, but I'm a fan of Behemoth now. I'm a fan of Behemoth now.
It's gone from being a slow lifter to basically being able to charges into you and launches you over. It's like a battering ram.
As Dara O'Brien said on the show, they look like a unit out there, and they are a unit. They are an absolute juggernaut of a machine.
Yeah, they actually are a behemoth.
Hey! Oh yeah, it really annoyed me that they...
Funny.
Also, I'm going to say this now. They kept calling it Behemoth on the show. For fuck's sake. And even the team said it's Behemoth. They kept saying it's Behemoth, not Behemoth. And it really bothered me that everyone kept calling it Behemoth. I was just like, oh, that's that. That's
Jonathan
it then.
Jonathan Pierce calls it Behemoth, obviously, because he's normal.
Well, it might not anymore.
I don't know, but okay, for you Yanks out there, right, who have butchered our British language, it's Behemoth, not Behemoth, you idiots.
It's Behemoth.
It's a vehicle, not vehicle. Right, done.
Anyway, done.
Rant over.
Next up, we have Bonk, robots from Team Mute.
Not the game, not the video game, an actual robot.
An actual robot built by Team Mute. And it's quite an interesting design, you know. It's a low flat design with a nice big axe on the top, and I think it looks quite nice, to be honest.
It does look quite nice. It's been on my problem is it's been on a live circuit for a long time, and it's been very unreliable in the past.
It has, however, that might change. That might change now. We don't know.
Yes. And obviously they replaced the hammer with a more bladed axe, from what I can tell.
Yeah, it's a lot more, you know, it's more of a, you know, a terahertz live tour kind of axe, you know, where it's kind of like a chopper rather than like, you know, the double-headed thing that they use in the series.
Yeah.
But that's
yeah.
That's Bonk. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
It looks good.
My tip for the series, not spoiling anything here. because they look it looks fucking awesome. Carbide.
Carbide, also known for you Americans out there who watch BattleBots as Cobalt,
It's the same team.
which beat, if I'm right thinking, it beat Overhauling, didn't it, in the first
It beat
round?
Overhauling in round 1. I don't think it's round 2 battles aired as of right now. It might be on this week because last week President Obama did an address and meant that it was off for a week. But
Oh, did he?
yeah, he did. For whatever reason. But
Take Obama.
yeah. Thanks, Obama. Anyway, Carbide has a spinning bar at the front. It looks kind of like, a bit like Fluffy to me. It reminded me of Fluffy when I saw it, except
Basically a fatter Fluffy, but with the bar, not a hammer.
yeah, it looks it's got it's a halfway cross between Fluffy and Tombstone, or Last Right.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks absolutely sick. And it's also made by the same guy, Sam Smith from Tiberius. He was a former Tiberius team captain before he sold it.
Yep.
He is not the team captain, but he is part of the team, and he
Yep,
helped build.
and Dave Moulds, the team captain, builds the robot Turbulence.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Turbulence.
So
2006 world champions, if I am right in thinking.
So there you go. So we've got Team Tiberius and Team Turbulence teaming up to make Carbide. We'll see how they get on.
Yes.
I think
It does
they're deadly compared to experience as well. So we'll have to see how they do.
If Sam Smith's featherweight NST is anything to go by, which is a former UK featherweight champion and very destructive, and is practically the same design, I think we could expect to see a lot of damage from Carbide.
We can, absolutely. It's a massive front spinning bar at 2,300 RPM. Come on, kids, let's have a bit of that. Let's have a bit of that, shall we? Right, next up is a returning competitor from the 2000 from Series 3's football, I believe.
Yes,
the General. As if they're back.
Yeah. They also entered with Spartacus in the Series 2 featherweight championship, sorry.
Yep, but they're back with a completely new robot, the General, again, and it looks completely different to how it did it in the football. It's got two massive chopping discs on the front and a wedge at the back. I think it looks quite cool.
It reminds me of the Series 5 something a little bit, because of the two
I can see that. I think it actually looks quite cool, to be honest with you. I hope they do well.
It does look cool, but I don't like the big wheels exposed. Oh no.
The thing is, again, my mum mentioned. I went with my mum to go watch Robot Wars and my friend Reese. She kept saying, "Why have they all got exposed wheels? They've all got exposed wheels, and obviously on the live tours they don't have spinning discs."
And if a woman from Redditch can understand that, then we know that there's a problem.
There you go. You see. There you go.
Sam, I push the button which makes the blades.
we'll get to that in a minute. Next up, we have Kill E Cranky, which is it's not S3, and it's built primarily by Robin Herrick of Team Cold Fusion,
the original team captain for Team Pussycat.
Yep. So he's the only competitor to have been in every series, or like as spanned across every series, if you get what I mean.
Yes.
Because I believe he also helped on Series 7, didn't he? I'm fairly sure.
No, he wasn't in Series 7.
No, he helped the backstage team, is what I'm saying. I believe he did, with Kim Davis and that lot. Anyway, back to Killy Cranky for a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry, kids. I don't like it. It looks awful. It looks weak. The weapon, right? That spinner is so small, and it spins at it doesn't even spin it to 1,000 RPM.
It's 450
That's
RPM.
terrible.
450 RPM.
400. That's not going to do any damage.
Just to put that into perspective, just to put how slow this is into perspective, Killy Cranky has a lighter and slower spinning disc than Hypnodisc in Series 3.
Yes.
Just to put that into perspective, that's how the power we're talking here. So,
and most circular saws from Series 1 and 2 span faster than that.
They did. Dead Metal certainly did anyway.
So that basically turns around and says that
we're predicting Killy Cranky not to last very long indeed.
Yes. Oh, and look, it also got exposed wheels.
It's funny that. Anyway, next up we have my personal favourite team of the whole series. They were great fun. The boys from Nuts. They were excellent. They were such good fun.
The new Diatorga boys, I think.
They are. Honestly, they were such a laugh. They were great fun. As for their robot, it's not that great. let's be honest here.
Yeah.
It's not very destructive. It's not very threatening, but they are great fun, and I wish them all the best. I really do wish them all the best.
Yeah, hopefully, I haven't seen anything. I hope that they go through. I hope they do well, because it's always fun to see the comedy teams make it a little bit further, like Dietos, Chromont, and Blunderberg.
Yeah, they also got 2 cluster bots, two little cluster robots that will drive around and just annoy people rather than damage them. Cluster bots these days are a bit different in terms of, useful.
Yeah, they're stupid. I'm sorry, I hate modern cluster bots. I think they're stupid.
They're more useful than Gemini, let's be real here.
Yes, but it's not a cluster bot, is it? They're 2 completely different looking things.
Oh, I know, but
don't even come into being attached anymore. So
anyway, it doesn't matter. Regardless, nuts, I hope they do well. I can't see it personally, but you never know. They might win a fight or 2.
So what, right? If they make an Annihilator next year, and if it could go all Spikosaurus on everybody.
I bet they do as well. I bet they do. But fair play to nuts. I'm so happy they got in. That's the main thing. They're great fun, the team, and let's hope they don't get too smashed.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the former UK and world champion in Heat 1, Razor. Moving on, we have Razor is now. We have to talk about Razor. Be honest here, Anderson. And I know you're going to say exactly the same thing here. There's a part of you that obviously wants Razor to get smashed to bits. That's obviously.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah.
I also think because it was the same with me when I saw it. There's a part of you that wants it to do well as well. I know because it's now the underdog.
Yeah,
because it's now the underdog.
The only reason why is because, well, it wouldn't be Robot Wars if it didn't, would it?
As well as that, they are now the underdog, aren't they? They're now the underdog. You have to think.
They are now an underdog, believe it or not. They are now considering that they won't be in the TV show. Of course, they'll
go win the series now. We said this, but Razor. You have to think now they are the underdogs. They've made improvements. They've made improvements.
Yeah, they've made improvements, which is good. I've always said this, right? I've never liked Razor, but I will always respect it.
Oh God, yeah. Like you can't.
It was a good robot.
Razor is boring to watch. It's not interesting to watch. It's it's slow. It's weapon slow. But my God, is it effective? And it's so pretty to look at as well. I know you prefer Warhead, but I think it's very pretty to look at.
It looks like the love child of a cheese grater and a doorstop.
Either way, you can't deny it. It's effective. Will it be effective?
I've always respected it. I may not like it, but I've always respected it.
Will it be effective this series?
I see it do well because of nostalgia. But I don't see it doing very well with the amazing spinning deathness that is the General. No, I'm joking. Carbide, obviously.
Do you think it's going to make the Heat final? That's the real question here. Do we think we're going to finish off previewing this Heat and then we'll move on to everyone else? Do you think Razor's going to reach the Heat final or maybe even the Grand Final?
No.
When do you think it's going to go out?
I think it'll go out in the round robin tournament.
Okay.
Because eventually it's going to meet Carbide, and I'm sorry, right?
You think
Razor is so old now, and it's so fragile to spinners that I think literally, even if it won all of its other matches, it wouldn't be able to make it into the arena. It's going to have to be destroyed by Carbide.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, they've improved the armament. I think it is now Hardock Steel, I believe, on Razor now. So we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, I think, as I said before, I want it to do well because I'd have to consider it now an underdog because it is, it hasn't fought in nearly 15 years. We don't know how it's going to do. We don't know how it's going to do.
No, we don't.
I'm very interested to see, will the weapon even go through the armor nowadays? It's all a mystery. No one really knows because Razor hasn't fought in so long.
It's got a bit more power behind it now. It's now 12 tons, not just 9.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how Razor can do. This is the wild card of the Heat. I'd say. How will Razor do in the new series? That is the real question.
Yes.
Anyway, we must.
And then finally, a personal favourite of our Sam's.
My favourite robot ever made. Terahertz is back. Yes, I'm so happy.
Overrated. Cough.
Oh, shut up. When I first saw they were obviously, when I was there, they were saying, oh, so this is, Razor's going to be in this heat. And then I saw Terahertz, and I'm like, and next up in the arena is Terahertz! And I was like, oh my god, Terahertz is back. I'm so happy. Because I knew that, obviously I knew that Beta was competing in BattleBots. I wasn't expecting Terahertz to be there as well, but it is. And, it looks great. It looks great. I'm so excited to see how it does.
Yeah. I was only joking. I don't think it's overrated at all. It would be nice. It's nice to see Terahertz back. Easily the best axe of the original show. It is going to cleave anything in half, I think, because they've improved the power in it several times.
As well as
is it the most powerful axe at the moment? I don't think so. I think Thor holds that crown, but it would be nice again to see them go far.
Indeed. As I said, we are finishing the preview here of Heat 1. So what do you think? Who's going to win Heat 1? Who's going to do what and when? So who's going to go in round 1, do you think?
Well, I'm sort of Killy Cranky's fucking out. Well, I get lost. Get off my telly, alright? That's Robin Herrick, you are a former 2-time runner-up. Get a grip.
I know.
Make something decent. If I'm honest, right, out in round 1, I'd have to say, the General, Killy Cranky, Nuts, and Bonk.
Okay.
The reason why I say those 4, Bonk, unreliable, the General, exposed wheels, Killy Cranky because it's crap, and whilst I like Nuts,
it's not the most destructive of robots, is it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We hope it does well. I'm not going to tell you what happens. I know, but I'm not going to tell you what happens. Right, week 2. That's the end of that hour. Who's going to win the heat?
Carbide.
Carbide to win the heat.
Now I've said it.
I don't.
Now I've said it. It's going to break down in the heat fight.
Oh, round 1, game over. I don't. Okay.
Mortis on it, isn't it?
As I said already, I've seen the first round fights. I've seen some of the second round fights. I don't know who wins each heat. So I'm going to make my prediction. I think. I also think Carbide. It's just, there's just one winner. Carbide for me. Anyway, we move on to week 2. We're not going to go into as much analysis on this one. I'm just going to tell you who's in it and then wrap up after that. So week 2, we've got Chimera first of all, and yeah.
An old Team Death robot is out by. Right, next.
Yeah, Disconstructed. A robot that was in Series 7, it lasted 15 seconds.
Before driving in the pit.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame because I think it actually looks quite good, to be honest.
Looked really good, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Draven, which lost to King B Powerworks in the Wildcard Warrior of Extreme 1.
It did.
Again, very unlucky loss. It looked good. Even better.
It looks cool. It's got the nice little LEDs in the front as well now. It's got it's got a nice armor, carbon fiber and Kevlar composite, which is what Mortis was based off of, I think, originally.
Yes, which is like which basically makes it diamond coated. That's tough.
We've got some strong ass armor. Then we got my friend from work is obsessed with Foxic.
Really?
Fox. He loves Foxic. I don't know why. It's a very cool robot. I can't lie.
Yeah. Foxic is basically a mixture of Biohazard and Original Sin.
I do like Foxic. I think it's a great design. It's very strongly built as well. It's got 1.5 centimeter thick Hardox armor, which is crazy.
Also, that front scoop, that front wedge is the perfect angle to deflect spin. It is effectively a spinner killer.
It is.
It beat Tombstone in the US. It beat Tombstone.
Which is a no mean feat. No mean feat at all.
Well, no. It beat Last Right, which is basically the exact same as Tombstone with a different name.
Yes, it is. Foxic for me, Team Danby are great guys. Again, very cool team. I hope they do well.
Series 3.
I hope they do well. I really hope they do well. I think, Foxic's a good robot. It's a bit unreliable, but it has the potential.
Yes. Bit like this laptop I'm using.
Yeah. Next up, another old team, Mr. Speed Squared, Team 4Z, formerly of Revenge of Trouble and Strife fame, with a big spinning disc again. Not really surprising considering Team 4Z.
Outer spinning ring. It looks great, is what I'll say.
We saw that they were the ones who uploaded a video onto YouTube to as their entry key, and they managed to get in, and it looks pretty fearsome. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, it looks nasty. It's basically a bit more of a bulkier corkscrew too.
And it actually works.
It's the best way to describe it.
It works.
It actually works, yeah.
It works. So we'll have to see how they do.
Shockwave.
Shockwave is an entry from a team Shockwave. Team Shock, who
We're
built,
known for having Manta in the live circuit,
and Maelstrom, who
and
they bought off,
and Maelstrom, which was St. Aggro.
yep. Shockwave actually looks
Obviously,
quite interesting. Shockwave looks quite interesting to me because it has that 360-degree lifting beam scoop at the front. It actually looks quite interesting to me. So hopefully we'll see
They're
how.
also very, very popular in featherweight competitions as well.
But they always do very well, don't they? They always do. They're a very experienced team again. So they, obviously, having not competed in the TV show but competed on the live shows, they're very experienced. They're a good team as well. Fast robot, 20 miles an hour top speeds.
What I most like about it again though is that front wedge. It looks like it could be a spinner killer.
Yeah, it's a very good design. Dark horses, I'd say, for this heat. You know, don't discount Shockwave for winning this heat. They've got a solid robot, and it could be one to watch. Next up is Thor. Jason by himself this time.
I don't really understand that. It's a shame, really.
But I tell you what, Thor is a great robot.
Thor, right? It was shit in the main series, but Jesus Christ, it is improved. That hammer is so deadly.
And it's
it is
30 miles an hour top speeds.
I know.
It's crazy.
I'm right in thinking as well. He's also got He's got interchangeable axe heads on it.
I believe so. Yes, I believe he has.
You loaded them to the old Robot Wars Wikipedia page not Wikipedia, Facebook page before obviously it got taken down and replaced by roaming robots.
Exclamation mark. But yes, I'm excited to see how Thor does. Thor is a great robot. Thor is a great robot. Current world number 2, and we'll see how they get on. I'll see how he gets on. I mean, I did manage to get.
They've been very, very successful in the live circuit for the last decade.
I've managed to speak because he was about, like at the top of his ass eating when we were coming in. You know, I managed to get a word with him. You know, he said, you know, I said to him, "Do you rate your chance?" He goes, "Yeah, I feel quietly confident." So I'll have to see how he gets on. It's a cracking robot. Thor. Watch out for Thor.
Yeah.
And finally, everyone's favourite horizontal crusher, Tough as Nails, is back.
Yay! Everybody. Okay, right. I'm just going to say this now. We don't get gravity, but we get tough as nails.
I don't mind. I like Tough as Nails.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard it correctly. I like Tough as Nails.
Yes. I don't think Tough as Nails is a cheap robot at all, but I just find it boring. I'm sorry.
It's boring as all hell, but it's, again, like Razor, it's effective.
Very effective. At the end of the day, an effective design is always a good design.
Now, one thing we have to be aware of, obviously, as we said before, the new arena is made out of steel. That made the grip a lot more difficult because it was very slippery underfoot. So maybe Tough as Nails won't be as effective as they would have hoped to have been because obviously, you know, it's going to be a lot less grippy to get robots and push them around. It's not going to be as easy to do that anymore, especially with them who suffered from traction anyway. So
yeah, a lot of robots these days put like little magnets on their tires to act as grip instead, because they used to put screws in, or little spikes dig into the wood. But obviously, that's no bloody good on a metal floor. So
no, it's not. Tough as Nails.
They put magnets on.
Slightly changed, not really changed. We'll see how they get on.
The only thing that's changed is the team, I think. The team
the team's the same.
Same team? Oh, okay.
Same team. Some new members, but the team is the same. It's still, what's his name, Vanderloo. Joran Vanderloo.
So he just sounds like a curry.
Yeah, Vanderloo. That's the end of Heat 2. Moving on to Heat 3, we start off with a former UK champion on the live tour, Big Nipper. And
two-time UK champion.
I tell you what, Big Nipper looks like some serious business now.
Yes. Well, it's a former two-time UK champion, right, on the live circuit, and it won with its normal basic weapon that it had in Series 7. Now it's got a tank of a spinner on it, and much deadlier crushing jaws.
It has also got the lifting arm as well.
It's got the lifting arm as well.
And it looks cool. They've given it a nice paint job as well. It looks really nice.
I think Big Nipper could be a dark horse for this series, you know.
We'll have to watch out for them. Obviously, Big Nipper, very experienced. They've been around since Series 5. Will they go all the way? Again, as I said, they're a 2-time live tour champion. Who knows?
And they're also, again, several-time featherweight champion with little Hitzer and little Flipper.
Absolutely. Tough to beat. Now, Anderson's favourite flipper, Dan Tomkier. With a new team.
Well, it's not entered by Mike Lambert this time, it's entered by Shane Swan.
Shane Swan and my man Stuart Barnwell from Redditch. Big up the boys!
For those of you who don't know, Shane Swan is the man who brought in Trax and Hell's Teeth,
and
as well as Envy.
And
to be honest, right, I'm not being horrible towards Shane here, but I don't see why he just bought Dan Tomkier and entered that. I would have much rather him make his own robot.
I don't think he bought Dan Tomkier specifically to enter Robot Wars 2016. I think he bought it before it was even announced. To be honest, as well as that, Mike Lambert couldn't be there anyway. So I'm glad that Dan Tomkier is there. I think that's a very good thing because Dan Tomkier is a very effective robot. We can't deny that.
I would have rather, like I said, I would have much rather
Envy in there,
or something like that. Envy, oh god, and it's in the Hall of Fame, Robot Combat Hall of Fame. I can't believe it.
But there you go.
Envy,
Dan Tomkier,
robot.
Dan Tomkier. Back in the new series with a new team. Hopefully they do well. Obviously very effective. But we'll have to see how they get on. Glitter Bomb, a new team, brand new robot.
Looks like it's
it looks like Edgehog. It looks like Edgehog to me. That's what it reminds me of.
I think it is like the old Edgehog.
Is it? No, it's an all new robot. It's an all new robot.
Yeah, but they bought Edgehog and they the axe mechanism.
It looks very similar, doesn't it?
The axe from Edgehog. That is the axe from Edgehog.
Yeah, possibly.
I read it. I looked it up.
Oh well, there you go.
Hang on, that looks like Edgehog.
I thought as soon as I saw it, I thought that looks like Edgehog. But there you go, Glitter Bomb. I think it looks quite cool in pink. To be honest with you, I hope they do well.
Like I said, it's not Edgehog. It's just the axe mechanism is Edgehog.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. I still think it looks quite cool. To be honest with you, like the pink is just cool and
Basically a new kilohertz.
Yeah.
Not kilohertz. Kilotron.
Yeah, well, they are our Kilotron for the series. Obviously we love a good, wacky design in Robot Wars, and hopefully.
I don't agree with having a child as a team captain, considering the child probably had nothing to do with the robot.
I believe she. I don't think she drove it. I think she only did the weapons. I know one of the teams coming up, the child controlled the weapon, controlled the robot, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, unlike his older brother, who's quite famous.
Well, anyway, we move on to the next robot, which is a very famous old robot, King Bee Remix.
King Bee Remix. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to do very well. It hasn't really lasted the test of time, in my opinion.
As it says here on the description on the RobotWars.tv garb, it says 30% of its current makeup dates back to 1998. That was nearly 20 years ago. Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
it
do well.
What happened in 1998? It caught fire. So
I'm assuming internally it's a lot better now. I'd like to see them do well.
Yeah,
I'd like to see them do well. It's a good little runner, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Especially considering they're a former tag team Terra champion, but I just don't see it happening.
We will see how King Bee do. Obviously, they've fought, Dan Tomkier before, and we know how that ended. But moving on, King Bee. I hope they do well, but I can't see it either, to be honest with you. Next up, an interesting one, Orte, or you, translated into Spanish, I think it is. A new entry from the Watts Ian Watts and his son Sam, not Joe.
Yeah, not Joe, like I said. This is the one whose famous older brother was on about.
Yeah.
Sam actually drives the robot.
Sam drives the robot, and he is very good. Obviously,
his brother.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, his brother was quite good. I mean, let's face it, he won the Minor Meltdown.
Yeah, I'll give him that. All right, fair enough.
But it was originally going to be called Bigger Brother 2 because let's face it, it's a clone of Bigger Brother. Let's be real. It's basically Bigger Brother on steroids.
It's just a less wedge-shaped version of Bigger Brother, isn't it?
It's Bigger Brother on steroids. It's been in the gym.
Basically, yeah. The only thing I can't believe I'm really saying this, to be honest. It would have been nice to have seen an older Joe come back.
I would have liked to have seen Joe and Ellie come back as like the older statesman in the team. That'd have been pretty cool. But at the same time, it's like, do you know what? I'm not too fussed by it.
Yeah. And they still claim it's a Nightmare in Metal.
It is a Nightmare. That's great stuff. I love that. They're back. And
they rate themselves 10 out of 10 chance of winning the competition. Oh,
Why not?
joy.
Speaking of 10 out of 10 chances of winning the competition, Overdoser! Yes!
Yes! Future champion!
Okay,
Ladies and gentlemen,
okay.
it is a wooden shed on wheels. It is
okay.
going
When I
zoom.
showed American Killjoy this robot, Steve, our good friend Steve,
Yeah.
and he
Who
said
doesn't talk
he said that thing looks like it's come out straight out of Series 2. We were like, and it
Oh, mate,
has.
no, mate, that's disrespectful to Series 2 robots.
I'm fairly sure Cassius or Panic Attack or Mortis would have a go at that and beat it.
No, Sam. We're talking the majority of robots from Series 2 here. I mean,
Dare I say
Cassie,
it? Dare I say it? Something
if you
like
were to take Mortis, or no, Sam, if you were to take Mortis or Cassius or Roadblock, they would still have a good, strong chance against robots from Series 7. Alright?
certain ones.
You know, obviously
certain.
not the good ones, but like the bad ones.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this
was allowed
they'd have
in.
a field.
This was allowed in, and Gravity was not. Can we just remember this?
Yes.
Anyway,
The-
take nothing
the
away
only
from the
thing
team. Take nothing away from the team. They've obviously worked hard on it,
like-
and I think they realised as well that
Right.
they were entered as a bit of a joke robot. I don't expect them to do
Yes,
well.
Sam, it's obvious they've entered as a cannon fodder robot. The only thing is, right, and I say this now, the only reason I can see them allowing this to go in as a cannon fodder robot is if it goes up against a really heavy spinner. Now, Supernova's a really heavy spinner, so
And they're in this
Yeah,
heat as well.
hopefully.
Supernova in this heat as well.
yeah. Speaking of which, just one Supernova.
Former world number 2. Good robot, and I'm glad to see them back as well. I hope they do well. I hope they really do well because they've had rotten luck in
I have with
competition.
Supernova is that it was so unreliable. It was unreal.
They have had rotten luck. They've had rotten luck in every series they competed in.
It lost to Spawn again in Series 6.
I know. Don't get me started on that. But again, they have to think. Okay, in their other fights, they lost to Behemoth and Storm 2. There's no disgrace there. And to be fair, Spawn again still a good robot.
Yeah, just not in Series 6.
I know. But anyway,
The one match it actually did well in was the match it lost.
I know. It's crazy. But there you go.
That is quite fun.
Supernova's back. Well, we'll see how they do. You know, good robot on its day. We'll see how they get on. And finally, my tip for the series, TR2 for this heat.
Your tip?
My
Series
tip.
TR2, yes.
My tip for the series.
Current world, no, not world.
UK
Current
champions.
UK heavyweight champions on the live circuit. Basically, take Gravity and pump it full of as much steroids and Viagra as possible, and you have TR2.
And it's
It is a ridiculous flipper. It is daft, alright? It will just, I think, right, you know what, right, I hope we have, because of course the house robots are so much bigger these days and heavier, it will be harder to flip them, but if there was if there a robot I thought that could probably do it at the moment, I would say TR2 has the biggest chance of flipping one of the house robots this series.
I have to say as well, the team were lovely. They were so nice. They were, honestly, they came up to, when they were waiting to go in, they came up to the crowd, they said, how are you doing? Hope you're all okay. They were asking every question that the audience had, they answered. Every single.
Clive and Alex Brown are great sports. All you have to do is literally look at the comments they post on the Facebook pages, and you will know just how funny they are and how lovely they are. They're great sports. They're always up for a laugh. They remind me a lot of the original Chaos 2 team.
Yeah.
Simply because they're a serious entry, but they're still really fun.
Yeah,
they're really helpful.
They're here for a laugh rather than serious competition. They're here if they win, hey, it's great. You know what? Great, they won. If not, hey, it's alright. They're here for a bit.
By the way, I'm not going on Facebook on Sunday.
God. No. Anyway.
I'm going to miss it, aren't I?
You are. What a shame, mate. Anderson is missing the season opener of Robot Wars. What a shame. Anyway, Heat 4. Apollo. Otherwise known as White Chronic.
Yes, basically it is. It's Chronic the Wedgehog from Series 7. No, sorry, from the live circuit, because it's got much bigger flipper now.
Yep.
And
in white.
White.
Because Chronic, the robot, entered in BattleBots. Yeah, Chronic entered in BattleBots.
Sorry? Yes, entered in BattleBots.
Yeah, and
I don't know what it did.
It didn't qualify, did it?
Oh no, yes. No, it was meant to, but it broke down last minute.
Yeah, so we've got Chronic in BattleBots, and we've got Apollo, whose team I met in the hotel, which we were staying at in Robot Wars, and we know how good Chronic is. Apollo is surely going to be the same.
Again, former UK champion Chronic won the 2005 UK Championship.
I think Chronic could be, Apollo could be a dark horse as well. They're a great robot, and it's got a very, very, very powerful flipper.
Yes, another very powerful flipper. Problem is, a bit like Chronic, it could prove to be too powerful. Chronic did itself in a lot of times.
I think they have like tuned it out over the years.
Yes.
But obviously that will remain to be seen. But I rate Apollo. I'll be cheering Apollo on. Obviously, we've got to know their team quite well. We were staying with them for a few days. They were nice guys. Hopefully they do well. Next up, we have the live events Chaos 2 Eruption.
Yes, Eruption. Only robots to win. Sam, do not say any spoilers about the main TV show because Taylor's in the room right now.
Okay.
And she's watching it with me currently, and we're only partway through series 4.
Okay, no worries. Okay.
Basically, so don't say any spoilers of the show right now because Taylor's in the room right now, and I don't want to spoil anything for her from series 4.
Okay.
Simply because.
Okay.
Because we're watching it together.
Okay.
Right. Eruption, a former 2-time UK champion. I love you, darling. I'm just going.
Let's get out. Back to Eruption, yes.
Yeah, fine. Eruption, right. Basically, former 2-time UK champions, separated on the live circuit, and the only robot after Chaos 2, apart from Chaos 2, to defend its title successfully.
I think
all other 2-time winners won it separate times.
Yeah, I also think Eruption looks really cool with this new update, like the red and the claw on top. I think that was quite cool.
And all that, yes. It looks a lot better than a simple black wedge, doesn't it, really?
It looks so cool.
Again, favourites to do well, because the team have won so many tournaments with... I think they've
won everything, haven't they? They've won pretty much everything, haven't they?
Pretty much.
They're a good team. We'll see how the Oats boys get on. Very powerful. Probably going to win the series, I won't lie to you. But we'll have to see about that. Eruption, probably the favourites for this heat, we'll have to say.
Yes.
Next up.
Can opener.
Will they make it out of round 1 this time?
Yeah. Former 2-time Annihilator champions. On the live circuit, again, they've been very well, but they've never won the championship.
No, they haven't.
Can they do it? I don't like the new look of it. I think it looks awful. There's not enough
exposed wheels.
Yeah. 1, exposed wheels, and 2, there's just not enough body behind the claws.
But then again, you don't really need it. Look at Tough as Nails, you don't really need it.
Yeah, no, but that's it. Tough as Nails' whole body was the claws.
True.
The whole body of Can Opener isn't the claws.
That's very true. We'll have to see. I mean, Can Opener are obviously, they're a very a known quantity, if you like. It'll be interesting to see how they get on in the series. It's a very expensive robot. It's £25,000 to build.
Fucking hell, I could do with £25,000.
I know, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Can Opener.
Oh, and just so you know, Tom Kane, the team captain, now looks like Harrison Ford.
He does. It's Harrison Ford's son.
He now looks like Indiana Jones, basically.
Yeah, he does. Next up, Gary Cairns' new robot, as we alluded to before, PP3D.
Right. Now...
And by the way, fun fact for everyone out there, if you can get a full copy of the picture on the Robot Wars website, my mum is in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, nobody goes. Well, no, I'm not happy at all about this because, well, I mean, first of all, Gary Cairns is basically practically lying to us here, right? He says, this is no word of a lie. He says it is the most powerful spinner in the world, right? Yeah, it only can produce 20 kilojoules of energy at its tip.
It's quite a lot.
Plenty of other spinners in this series can produce more than 60 kilojoules at the tip. So therefore, it's not that powerful.
Well, maybe, but it is a very heavy disc, so we have to factor that in. But anyway, regardless, PP3D, and you have to think, really, they're coming in as current champions.
Technically they are, yes.
So PP3D are coming into this series technically as the reigning champion. So
also right that if Robot Wars was to continue after for Series 8,
Yep.
They wouldn't have entered with Typhoon anyway. They would have entered with the Swarm.
Yeah. But
There's
anyway.
a robot called Swarm. Because Gary Cairns had I say that, I think so. I might get this, but let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. But Gary Cairns, I think, left the Air Cadets
after
not
Series
long
7.
after Robot Wars ended.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't his robot, he couldn't take it with him. So, of course, he went and built his own robot called Swarm, and I think he was going to enter as the reigning champion
He would have entered that.
into the new series, but I'm not 100% sure that's true or not.
But there you go. PP3D entered technically as current champion. If you're being very nitpicky about all this, about the the state of who's doing what in Robot Wars at the moment, I'd say they've got a good chance. I mean, it's got a very heavy spinning disc. Spinning discs are always powerful. It remains to be seen if the design is any. I mean, to be honest, the design to me looks a bit uninspiring. It's a bit of a boring, cylinder. But again, take nothing away. We're not ones who build robots. We're just here to, we're just fans.
Oh look, exposed wheels.
It's a theme, isn't it? It's a real theme. Speaking of robots that have been in its previous series, Sabertooth.
Yes, the two-time first round failures, and unfortunately a robot that failed to qualify for Series 7. I'd just like to say, by the way, if it had entered in Series 7, it probably would have won, because it had a 9,000 RPM spinning flywheel, which was scarily, I mean, a lot of spinners these days are a lot faster than that, but for the time, 9,000 RPM was, I think, a record. And in its qualifying battle, it basically did two one-hit KOs. And in those one-hit KOs, it ripped the robot apart. The only reason it didn't qualify was because the producers believed the weapon was too powerful, and they couldn't reach the spinning power. In
fairness, we saw what Typhoon did to the arena. What would Sabertooth have done? But anyway, Sabertooth 2016. It looks very different. It's got a big shovel at the front. It can push. It got a grappler on the top, and it's got a 22 kilo, 4,500 RPM drum at the back.
Yes. Now, I think that the weight and the speed of that drum are going to be helpful. The only real issue I have with the drum is it looks very hidden. I can't really see it hitting anything very well.
It has got black teeth. They are quite protruding. But one problem I've noticed with Sabertooth, it has no Shremek. In a heat
and
with
a very high ground
with a heat with Eruption and Apollo in it.
Yeah, and a very high ground width. But it is only 106 kilos, and robots make light work of that these days, don't they? I mean, flippers can flip 100 kilo robots a good 5 feet in the air, so.
We'll have to see how they get on, but the drum could do some damage. Hopefully they do, but I'm not feeling too confident for Sabertooth. Now, another important robot to pay attention to: Storm 2. Now, of course, we remember what happened with Storm 2 and Gary Cairns the last time they fought. Well, they could end up fighting again.
Yes, I think Storm 2 would have more of a chance this time because it's more of a conventional spinner on PP3D.
Yep.
And of course, Storm's got that spinner killer wedge.
And I'll tell you what, Storm 2, it just looks sleek, doesn't it? It just looks deadly.
It does. It looks really good. Right, this is a basic top tip. Even I know this, right? If you are going to enter into robot combat, just put wedges all around your robot because they will 9 times out of 10 deflect you from most weaponry.
Yep. I'd say Storm 2 might be a lot slower these days, only at 12 miles an hour, but
only 12 miles an hour?
Yeah, they've slowed it down.
Jesus, what's he doing?
But the torque is a lot higher. So they could just push things more.
Yeah. You know what I really want to see?
Go on.
A new wild thing.
Maybe one day.
That would never die, would it?
Maybe not. But Storm 2, I think we have to say also, this heat's quite stacked in terms of good robots. I'd like to see what Storm 2 is capable of these days. It's the original team as well. It's the original team as well. It's the original team of Ed Hoppett, Tim Bentz, and Meryl Bentz now, not Meryl Kodak, I believe her name was before.
Yeah, they're now married. I know, it's great. Actually great.
Hopefully they do well. I like Storm 2. Storm 2 is a great robot, and we'll see how they get on. Next up.
We've had 6 really decent robots, so sadly we have to start going downhill a bit now.
I tell you what, give credit where it's due, Sweeney Todd is an excellent design.
It's a box.
Those wheels are hella clever.
What are they? What do they do?
Basically, Sweeney Todd, the wheels enable it to travel forward, quote unquote, in 4 directions. It can go left, right, forward, backwards, like properly. So like it wouldn't turn, it would just go left or go right.
Okay, I will admit, right, face it right, it would definitely, I think if they had awards for this series, they would definitely win the most original entry award.
However,
But that weapon is not getting them anywhere. That weapon is not getting them anywhere. It's too small and it's just not very powerful.
look
And then
at the weight.
Sam, there's the other problem. Let them know what the problem is, please.
Okay, so the weight limit in Robot Wars 2016, as we know, has been up to 110 or 115 kilos. I think it's 110, isn't it?
110 kilos, yeah.
The weight of Sweeney Todd is 45. That's half the weight of everyone else. Less than half the weight.
That's less than half the weight. That's 10 kilos less than half the weight. In fact, I'm not being funny
That's
here.
a middleweight.
Right?
It's a middleweight.
Yeah, I'm not being funny, right? The original middleweight weight limit, which is 54 kilos, is 9 kilos heavier than that. That is shit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool design, but I can't see it with a weight limit like 45 kilos. I'm sorry.
What makes it up as well, right, is the team think that their weakness is their flat shape, so they're vulnerable to act.
No, they're gonna get fucking bullied.
You're gonna get thrown around, you idiots.
Hopefully it doesn't happen, but
credit to them where credit is due. That design is bloody good. I will give them that.
It's great
100%.
ingenuity. It's great ingenuity, and it's great. You know, it's clever. It's very, very clever, and they have a woman driving it as well.
Oh well, it's fuck then.
Anyway, our final.
Sorry, eco-feminists. I do apologise.
Our final entry into Heat 4 is Terra Turtle. Week 4, sorry.
Terra Turtle, yeah.
Terra Turtle and its hatchling.
Jesus Christ.
I tell you what, it has got a pretty nifty spinning disc.
Yeah, but it's exactly the same as the last one, and it didn't last
it's got the hatchling. It's got the cluster. It's fine.
Yeah, and it looks awful.
Well,
in fact, yeah, here we go. Right now, hang on. Right, Terra Turtle itself weighs 86 kilos, and then the hatchling weighs 21.5 kilos. So by my calculations, right, 96.
That's 100.
That's okay. That's okay. That's like 107.
107.5 kilos. So they're pretty good on weight. Again, no Shreemet. Oh, they have got a Shreemet. They've run both ways up. Ignore me. Terra Turtle, I can't see it lasting very long. It didn't last very long 10 years ago. It's not going to last very long this time, but we'll have to wait and see. You never know. They might do.
Not being horrible to John Frizzell, right, but he is a horrendous driver.
I don't think he's driving. He's not driving this time. The kids are. The kids are.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But anyway, we don't hold high hopes for Terra Turtle, and we move on to our final week 5, and we start off with the Beast.
Yes. Now, again, Series 5 competitor, so from the original TV show. Good God, his kids have grown up. Look at the kids there in that episode. It's on YouTube, and then look at the picture of them in the team photos on the website.
I know.
Good.
I tell you what, as well, their robot has grown up as well. Beast is now an absolute animal, and I love the archaic like webbing design. I think that's great.
Yes, Beast, of course, has been a very strong competitor on the live circuit, obviously, and the team have been very, very successful on the featherweight UK circuit with
Beauty 2, Beauty 8.
I think they've won 3 UK featherweight championships.
They've won a lot. Yeah.
And I think they won like 3 years running as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they won 3 years running. I'm not too sure though.
Certainly
which is better than Chaos technically. When you think about it.
Yeah. I certainly hold high hopes for them. They've got a fantastic robot, good track record as well, experience. They're going to be hard to beat.
Only want to have the lack of armor.
But again, the steel beams really protect that. You know, we'll have to wait and see how that plays against the spinners, because I don't think they've fought many spinners before with this robot, so we'll have to see how they go on. And now...
Oh, again, exposed wheels.
Yeah, again, Next up, a robot that I'm very fond of, and I'm so good, we only saw it once, but we're going to see it again. It's Chompalot!
Yay, the Iron Maiden's champion! So obviously the one showing where women actually can drive. No offense. No, yeah, Chompalot, great to see them back again. They've got a really nasty looking crusher this time. It's even stronger looking than the Series 7 the Extreme 2 version, I should say, sorry. And
it still looks gorgeous. I mean, I love the little, the wrapping paper effect around the outside. It still looks great. I tell you what, I think they're here for fun again, let's be honest. They haven't really improved it too much from the last version, so hopefully they do well.
I will admit though, James Cook looks like the missing member of Ronnie James Dio's band. I'm not gonna lie.
But I tell you what, they've got a good chance. I like Chomp a lot.
And I tell you what, I wish them the best of luck because they had a really unlucky heat in Series 6.
I mean, they've got a pretty unlucky heat this time as well. We'll get to the rest of the robots in a minute, but I tell you what, Chomp a lot, they're here for fun, and I hope they're going to have some. I really do. Next,
Crazy Coupe 88.
One of the few robots I've never actually seen in action before. There's fun. Okay, so just as a heads up, I didn't see Crazy Coupe's battling this, so I have no idea how it does. I haven't seen it perform. I can't really give much of a.
I like what I do like is the idea of both a vertical and a horizontal spinner. The horizontal
exposed wheels.
Exposed wheels, yes, obviously, of course. It's the new series. It has to have exposed wheels. I like the 17-inch horizontal spinner that rotates at 2,450 RPM, which is faster than Carbide's, but it is smaller.
I think it weighs pretty much the same, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It might just weigh the same. I don't know. I don't like. I like the fact that they've got two spinners, but the exposed wheels and the high ground clearance do ruin it.
And the armor's not the best, I don't think.
The armor's not the best. It's aluminium checker plate.
That's what Hypnodisc was made out of back then.
Yeah.
And Hypnodisc armor wasn't the best.
Yeah, and of course, it's only 101 kilos, so it has got 9 kilos of weight available there to be easily flipped.
Yeah. So
we will see how well it performs. It looks alright. It looks something like a coupe, but I think it's made out of piece.
Yeah, the name came from Wacky Races, I believe, or something like that. Next up, Gabriel.
Gabriel is like Stinger on roids, okay?
I love Gabriel so much. It's just such a cool robot to watch. If anyone out there have ever seen Gabriel fight on the live circuit, it's just so good to watch. It has such a momentum to it. It's great.
And of course, ask Eric.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
It can hit hard.
I wouldn't want to be under that. I mean, like I said, it is. Go and watch his match against Eric, guys. Seriously, I promise you, it is a good match. In fact, we might even link it in the comments. We'll link it
in the description below. Eric versus Gabriel is to watch. Is just such. It just carries so much energy and it's so well controlled.
Only two problems I can see with it.
One, the exposed wheels. I mean, they're massive.
Yes.
let's be honest here, they're massive.
Yeah. And two, the massive ground clearance again.
But the thing is, with the ground clearance, I can't see it being much of a problem because it's so big it's going to be hard to flip.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, there'll be a lot of gap there for the flipper to miss.
As well as that, it'd be hard to get it out of the arena because it's such a difficult shape to hit.
Yes, look at Top of Now versus Bulldog Breed Series 7.
It's just such a difficult robot to flip over. It's just not right. I think the wheels are the biggest weakness, but I've got high hopes for Gabriel. I think Gabriel could do very well indeed from this heat.
Yes.
As for doing well, Infernal Contraption.
God's sake.
I've never been a fan of Infernal Contraption, I'll be honest with you.
It just never impressed me enough. The robot looks nigh on identical to the robot that entered beforehand. Again, huge exposed wheels. The blade is exactly the same and it never did well. It's only, in fact, I think it is legitimately the exact same robot. It's only 86 kilos.
It's lighter than it was before. It was over 90 before.
Yeah.
What the fuck have they done to it?
So basically what they did is they downgraded it. Well done, guys. Jeez.
I think the disc spins a bit faster. But yeah. Infernal Contraption, meh. Next up is Ironside 3. Team Mouse have grown up a lot.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I personally believe we could be in with a dark horse with Ironside 3, simply because that weapon is insane. It is 1 meter in length. It's 35 kilos, and it spins at 1,500 RPM.
Which isn't fast. It isn't fast.
Heaviest weapon.
It isn't fast, but it's heavy. It isn't fast, but it's heavy.
Yeah. And also, to be honest, 1,500 RPM isn't anything to be sneezed at, is it?
No, it's not. I'll tell you what, as well, I love the rustic kind of design they've gone for it on it as well. Like, it's all kind of like, it's unpainted, it's all a bit grimy and dirty. It just looks like a dirty robot. It looks great.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, best of luck to him, because with Mighty Mouse and Velociraptor, they never lived up to anything They were always seen as just jokes who were never going to get far.
As well as that, with Velociriptor and Mighty Mouse, they always ran away. This one, they're going to go in. They're going to go on the attack. I can't wait. Yes.
It's nice to see that they've actually built a robot that's actually worthy of competing for a change.
I'll tell you what.
And I cannot wait to see it in action. It looks great.
Speaking of not being able to wait,
it could be a dark horse.
Well, as we said, with good robots that could be in with a shout, another one here, Pulsar.
Oh yeah, now this one, guys, you might be surprised to hear this. It might seem a bit of a shock, and it might seem a bit daft, but this one is my tip to win the series. And I haven't seen it in action, but it just looks so good.
It looks sleek. It looks sleek, doesn't it? Let's be real here. It looks sleek.
The only thing that worries me is the high ground clearance at the back.
But the thing is, it's so wide, it just turn around. It'd be fine. It has a 14 kilo, 9,000 RPM spinning drum at the front. That's Minotaur levels of strength.
Yes. That is ridiculous.
And we all know what that's doing in BattleBots at the moment.
Yes.
15 miles an hour.
140 times a second. I mean, it's got the kinetic energy. So its kinetic energy surpasses that of a 50 caliber sniper rifle bullet.
It's just.
I think
if it can stay out of harm's reach of anyone else,
yeah,
why not? Why not? This robot could be.
And it's very low at the front, which is also very good because very low at the front means you can get under the other low robots
and just chuck things over.
Drum.
Yeah.
That drum, honestly, right.
I've never seen
it in battle, but I personally think that is my tip to win the series. That is my favourite to win this series.
We have to say, as much as it's a small series, all the robots in this series are so strong. Like,
apart from
with a few exceptions, yes, but the quality of this series is so much higher than we've seen ever.
Yes, definitely.
And the final robot in Robot Wars 2016 is Thermidor 2.
From Series 3. Now, I know Sam's quite a big fan of Thermidor. I personally am not. I think very overrated machine, which was very lucky in its battles and was very unreliable.
It was good. It was good. It was good for what it was. It was good for what it was.
Yeah. It could do well. I'm not.
Let's face it. It still has a very, very powerful flipper.
Yeah. I mean, it can lift 2,300 kilograms, but like I said, the exposed wheels and the reliability just let it down for me.
Possibly.
The team now look like drug addicts, by the way.
They've got a lot older, man. They're in their late 40s. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. Ian Harvey, ladies and gentlemen, is Ashens' cousin. It's sick. That is one reason I like them.
Okay, so
Ashens is my favourite. I'm sorry, Ashens is one of my favourite YouTubers. I'm sorry.
We're gonna make our predictions as to who's gonna win each heat. So heat 1, who's gonna win? We said Carbide for that one. Heat 2, who's gonna be?
For me, heat 2, my favourite to win that one. It's between Speed Squared and Thor.
For me, it's gotta be Thor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Actually, Foxy looks pretty good. I'm going to go with Thor just simply because I think the axe can make more of an advantage of the flat tops of both Mr. Speed Squared and Foxy. So I'm going to go with Thor as well.
Okay. Heat 3, I'm going for TR2.
You're going for TR2. You see, I'm going for Overdose. No, I can't even joke like that. Yeah, it's annoying. Again, I'm probably going to have to go with TR2, yeah, because Supernova is like the only other robot I can really see winning this heat.
Not Big Nipper.
I suppose Big Nipper could.
No, I'm still sticking with TR2. I mean, Big Nipper would be a close second for me, but I still think TR2 will win this heat.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with TR2 as well. I think.
Yeah, we're agreeing on everything here, fella.
Yeah.
Heat 4. I tell you what, anyone could win this heat except for Terra Turtle and Sweeney Todd, and Sabretooth probably. I'm gonna go for Apollo.
Going for Apollo?
Apollo, yeah, why not?
That actually shocks me. No, I think Storm 2.
Storm 2, okay.
I'm going for Storm 2 for that one.
And
sorry, lad.
Yeah, it's alright. No, it's okay to disagree sometimes. And for week 5, it's got to be Infernal Contraption for me. No, it's not really. I'll tell you what, this is quite a hard one as well. I don't think it'll be Chomp a lot. I don't think it'll be Infernal Contraption. I think it's going to be... Pulsar.
Yeah, I'm going with Pulsar.
So we agreed on
And
four
And
robots.
a close second would be Ironside 3.
I'm going to say Ironside 3 is going to get the wild card as well.
Yes, definitely. I think Ironside 3 deserves a wild card. But to be honest, out of the robots that I think will be getting the wild card, I'm going to probably say Eruption will probably get it.
You think Eruption's going to win the second heat? Sorry, finishing the heat final then?
Yeah.
Okay. And so obviously, we haven't seen any of the series. Obviously, I've seen some of the series, but again, I don't know any results majorly. Anderson, who is your Robot Wars 2016 champion?
Pulsar.
And I'm saying TR2 will be your 2016 champion. Right. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been a hell of a long video. I hope you've all enjoyed this extra boost along preview of Robot Wars 2016. I'm sure Sam
will edit some pictures of the robots we're talking about.
Yeah, of course. I'll be doing pictures of everything. House robots, the arena, everything else. But I genuinely cannot wait for this to air next week on Sunday.
Nor can I. I'm really excited now. I'm almost excited as I am for the. I'm more excited than I am for the bloody new Pokemon game coming out later this year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But this has been Sam Elliott 64.
And, of course, your boy, Anderson9132. Thanks for watching, guys.
And we'll see you next week for the Week 1 review. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.